Because it's race week, Derek.
It's race week.
It's race
You know what
week.
that means? It's a Pontiac Grand Preview episode as well.
It's been a long time.
Sure has.
Long time.
Shall we kick it off?
Absolutely.
Let's kick it off. Welcome back to the Backmarkers F1 pod. That's Ben. I'm Derek. It's the latest and greatest F1 pod that no one asked for, but here we are for season 2, if you want to call it that. I don't know if we're going to keep track of things that way or not, but it's our second race season.
Season 1. I think we should forget the first season ever happened.
The first season was preseason testing.
Preseason testing. Yeah, that's what we'll call it.
Fair enough. But we made it. The long awaited off season has finally sunsetted, and we are back to a race week down in Australia, as it always should be. It should always start in Australia, if you ask me. You agree with that?
I mean, it definitely shouldn't start in the Middle East right now, but
no, it should not.
Yeah.
That would be a tough spot to go. Did you read any of what the FIA has said so far about
none of it? No, none whatsoever.
So for my understanding, they're basically in like a holding pattern, as much of the Middle East currently is, and I think it's safe to say we wish everybody well-being who is stuck over there at the moment, and that this comes to a speedy end. We don't have to get into the details of the politics of it all, but war sucks overall, I would say, generally.
That's very diplomatic of you, Derek. Yes, I think that's a very agreeable position to take.
Yeah, so, we don't have to go much further into it than that. But definitely have to make some sort of mention of it, as there is a potential it could affect the Formula One calendar, and this is a Formula One show after all.
Oh no, that's the worst consequences that could come out of all of this, is that it affects a sport.
No, it's not. As like I said, we're not going to go into all of that, but
that for the purposes of this program, yes, it is. This is the worst thing that could happen to the sport.
Sport, yes. That is true.
This is the worst. This is the worst consequence of this, for the purposes of this program, is that it affects our favorite sport.
Yes, that is true. Well, potentially. You never know. It's still a month away, and anything is possible. It could wrap up quickly. It could. We don't know what's going to happen, obviously. We're not future tellers. We are, if you listen to our picks, though, because we'll start giving you some of those again, because it's a Pontiac Grand Preview. So maybe we'll be hot betters this year, and we'll make up for some losses last year. But yeah, basically, I think the FIA president, Mr. Bin Salem, I don't know how to say his name in full, but basically it's kind of like a holding pattern for right now. See how things go. If it gets to the point of the Middle East section in April and things are still going on, I think they're postponing to potentially canceling those races or replacing them. And there's a few options where they could kind of slot some other races in there. One could be a second Imola race. One could be Portugal, in Lisbon, I think is where that track is at. And there's like 2 options realistically where they could kind of slot that into place. So
yeah, that's what I saw as well.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna lie, it took me multiple days before I realized how that might have actually affected things. Because I was just so hyped for it being race week and it being Australia, and then as more news keeps coming out, I was like, wait a minute.
This could affect me personally.
They're starting to mention some places where some other things are going to be happening relatively soon. Is there any news on that? So
yeah, I think what I heard was that they moved a WEC race or something, or they moved.
Yeah, because they start in Qatar, and that's this weekend. It was supposed to be this weekend. Yeah, not a good time to do that one. Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know how WEC is going to work, if they're going to end up making up that race or not. I don't know anything about their calendar, so yeah, no idea. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
so moving on to Australia.
Yes, going down under.
what's the scoop?
What is the scoop? Well, I mean, there is a lot going on. I think the most important storyline that we need to talk about right now is the fact that you mentioned, as we talked about previously, that you know we've got a new team on the grid in Cadillac and Audi loosely, and we've
And
talked
they
about
might
how
not be the worst team on the grid.
they might not be the worst team on the grid. You mentioned it would be a miracle or like best results for GM Cadillac going into this weekend is just to finish. That would be an accomplishment in itself as a brand new
Yeah.
team. As a not brand new team and an Adrian Newey led designed team, you have their
Ooh,
drivers saying they might not be able to complete 25 or 15 laps without permanent nerve damage because of how shit their car is.
holy shit. I didn't realize it
Yeah,
was that bad.
yeah, it's this.
Wow.
This is the direct quote. Fernando is of the feeling that he can't do more than 25 laps consecutively before he will risk permanent nerve damage to his hand. Lance is of the opinion that he can't do more than 15 before that threshold. That is Adrian Newey on the Aston Martin's vibrations in their car right now. What a shit show.
Just insane. Just
Literally.
absolutely insane.
I mean, how is it that bad? Like I felt like people complained a lot when the ground effect era car first came out with the porpoising, but it was never this bad. Like what is going on over there? This is, I mean, is it a blessing in disguise for Red Bull that they didn't end up having Adrian Newey designing their 2026 car? I mean, what are we doing here? This goes against like everything we thought was going to happen. I mean, we kept joking about it last year on the constructor standings and the constructor rankings that, hey, Aston's just waiting for Newey's car. Here it is, and it sucks, apparently. This is bad.
Yeah. So I think the rumor that I heard was that he maybe made some tweaks to the engine or something like that.
Mm,
I don't know, man. This is not a good start to the Adrian Newey era at Aston Martin, for
no,
sure.
not even a little bit. Yeah, we were joking, and I assumed it was just jokes. So there'd be, it might not be great. It's still new regs, and things can change, and you can bring upgrades and stuff. But this level of bad is, I don't think anybody was expecting at all going into the year. I think
Yeah.
people were pretty stoked about it, this car, honestly, because, well,
I mean, I was.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to Fernando Alonso can just never be paired with Honda.
I don't know. I think
It's just a
Alonso's
curse.
career is cursed. I
Well,
think
that's true.
that's probably the answer here.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if anybody is really happy about the way that this has turned out for them.
Hmm. Not yet, at least. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think the problems that they're talking about having, the
Hmm.
problems that the team is like every rumor that I hear just makes it get worse.
Hmm.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I don't think that this is a one or two races from now things are going to be better type scenario. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be a while.
Summer break,
Um,
maybe at the best.
if we're lucky, summer break.
Hmm. Which is
Yeah,
really bad. Hey, I mean, shout out Alpine. You're probably not going to be the worst car this year. That's a step up already. It's
that's
bright side
bleak.
for everybody.
That's so bleak.
It's very bleak indeed. Yes.
Ugh.
Um, but yeah, Aston's in some deep, deep shit, which is very funny because I'd still laugh because I think back to the F1 movie and how in the promos for it, like they have this clip of Brad Pitt talking about how, there's Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Aston Martin. Like he just like casually threw Aston Martin in as one of the big dogs in the sport, which even at that point in time was a
Was
stretch
not true. Yeah.
and not true. Yeah. Since their inception, they started off very hot with all of Fernando's poles, or not poles, podium finishes that he had to start his Aston Martin career. And it has only gone downhill from there ever
Yeah.
since then. It is abysmal. It is not at all good. And shockingly, well, not shockingly, it's not Lance Stroll's fault.
I guess there are some positives to come out of this.
Yeah. A little bit of vindication for him, I'd say.
I don't know about that.
No,
That's maybe a stretch too far, but he's still there. He's
he is still
he's
there.
he's driving.
Maybe
So
only for 15 laps. We shall see. Maybe we should set a little like personal over under Lance
no,
Stroll
dude,
laps completed.
if it's that bad, I feel like it's gonna be a team decision. Both cars come in after 10 laps, which is just
Right?
fucking insane to think about.
Yeah.
Just crazy to think about on its face.
I mean, how would they complete a weekend, let alone the race?
I mean, yeah, that's a good fucking question.
Right?
You know, do they? Because I heard it was like they don't have enough parts or something, or they're worried about a catastrophic failure out of a part or something, which I feel like you guys maybe should have had that much at least figured out.
You'd think
But I don't know. Well, you don't know how much the car weighs until it's all put together. So,
it hasn't been put together. It sounds like at all.
I mean, they did a shakedown.
Well,
Yeah.
not much of one, to be fair.
No.
Not much of one. They logged the least amount of laps in all the testing too.
Yeah. It's not looking
And
good.
Williams didn't even show up to one of them.
Well, I mean, that seemed like a business decision, but
Yeah, but besides the point, they were at
still
all
okay.
three, and they didn't. They were the least logged laps out of all the teams, and one of the teams wasn't even there for one of them. You know,
That makes
boy,
the
remember
statistics a
that
little more
story?
fucked. Yeah, I forgot
Remember
about
that
that.
story? Fucking
Jesus.
Williams
And
is
that
like shit. Thanks,
and that's
Aston.
that's the thing. I mean, like, it feels like that was so long ago that I don't even remember. You know what I mean?
Right?
So I don't know. I'm excited for
Yeah.
this weekend though. I'm excited to
Mm.
see. I'm excited to see how Ferrari does. Not to sound like too much of a homer. Um,
Well, their lead story for sure going into this.
yeah. I mean, their starts. Um, they seem pretty happy with everything about the car, pretty much, which is a
Hmm.
good thing. Um, and I don't know. Everybody seems to be putting the Mercedes as the favorite.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I've been of the opinion that we're not going to be able to figure anything out until we see cars on the track.
Hmm.
So I'm really excited to see cars
It's
on the
very
track.
bold of you. Yes.
No, I mean, just in terms of like, yeah, I don't pay attention to preseason testing because like it's not going to tell me anything, and I'm just going to get my
It
hopes
does
up.
only tell you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it told me that Aston Martin is shit, but I already kind of knew that going in. I just didn't
Hmm.
realize it was going to be this bad. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, yeah, that's that's what I got there.
I agree with that. Yes, going into it, it does seem the Ferrari Mercedes is going to be duking it out possibly this weekend for poles qualifying and winning this race potentially, which is very exciting. I'm excited to see. I would like to actually see Ferrari make that step into not just being a laughing stock because
God,
I've
me
yet to
too,
like
Derek. Me
I've yet
too.
to like really witness like Ferrari like actually be competitive. Yes, they
Me
have been
too.
competitive in past seasons here, but it's like always at well with jokes along the way because of how incompetent they have been, that's for sure. But
Yeah,
I am very excited and I would very much like to see Ferrari actually like, hey, let's be a competent team this year and actually go for this. That would be
yeah.
very fun to watch. And it would be a little bit of a shakeup. I'm curious to see how McLaren ends up being able to defend their titles. They are still a Mercedes power unit after all, so I'm curious to know how well the Mercedes customers end up doing as well. Compared to well, who's Ferrari's customers? They have Haas and is that
Cadillac.
it? Oh, and Cadillac, that's correct.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we're not really counting much out of Cat, or we're not expecting much out of Cadillac, so
But that's still
um,
engine data that you can get. You know what I
that's
mean? The
true.
thing with Aston Martin is they're the only Honda power unit. They're
Hmm.
the only people that they can learn information about that power unit from.
Yeah,
Um, can I throw out a spicy little prediction here?
I'd love to see a spicy
I
prediction.
think I think Lando Norris is going to be exposed as
You
a
think he's gonna be
fraud.
exposed?
He's a fraud. Yeah, I think
Interesting.
that Oscar Piastri is going to in his third season, fourth season in the sport, going
Fourth.
to work Lando Norris, and I don't
Hmm.
think it's going to be particularly close.
I, I'm trying to determine the spiciness level of that take for you here. Um, because I feel like it's just a continuation of last year's for you.
No, I mean, that was the opinion that I held last year for sure. Like,
Hmm.
I was definitely rooting for Oscar in the grand scheme of how the championship was going to go.
Hmm.
But more than that, this time around, I think Lando is not that guy. And I
Hmm.
think that with these new regulations, whatever
World
comes
champion
around,
Lando.
I don't think he's that guy. You know
Mm.
what I mean? I don't think he's gonna beat his teammate this year.
Hmm.
So
Little bit of a preview into my Drive to Survive recap that I've watched so far. Um, I think Lando found something in the second half of last year. Um, I think the first half of the year he was still very much the Lando that we've known of. He's very emotional, he's very up and down, which, good and bad has its pros and cons, but almost to it was to like an nth degree of okay, like you got to like reel it in a little bit, with the roller coaster that you go through in the course of a season. I think the second half of last year he found something and he found some more resolve and some more um balanced emotions while he is out on track, which I don't see why he would lose that now going into future this season or seasons to come personally. I
this
think
is true.
I think you could still say Oscar overall might be better in the long term and even this season, but seeing him get worked by Oscar, I think would be kind of shocking to see personally. Just because I don't think Lando's going to lose that competitiveness, and now being a world champion, I think that probably changes his
Take some
mindset
pressure off his shoulders. Yeah.
and takes
Yeah.
it gives him a little bit more of that confidence that he might have been lacking like at the beginning of last season where it felt like he needed to become the world champion, like it was all on him,
And
and
that's
how do you
fair.
deal with that pressure? Now he
That's
is. Now defending is a whole nother story. I don't see that happening personally.
no, no shot.
um but I would be shocked to see him get worked. And again, I think it just comes back to I'm curious to see how the McLaren does overall
Yeah. No,
with this as well.
I think that everybody's kind of circled the Mercedes Powers units as the best in preseason.
Hmm.
And if that's the case, I mean, it's hard to bet against Mercedes if they're the main team and they have a customer team.
Hmm.
Um, that being said, just that teammate battle, I think that Oscar is going to beat Lando,
Hmm.
and I don't think it's going to be close. And I think that I don't want to comment on his mental state or anything about like insecurity or anything like that, because like he's a human being. Everybody's going to struggle with that to some degree.
I think you
Um,
commented on in like the competitiveness, you know.
I mean, the bigger thing that I think is that you had guys like Lewis and Max saying this car, this regulation set is not fun to drive.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like I'm racing a car, it's that I'm trying to win as slowly as possible, which I guess is a strategy, right?
Hmm.
But it felt like his comments about the car and saying, "Oh, you can drive somewhere else if you don't like it," or like you can, or whatever he said, saying like, "Oh, well, I like the car. I think it's fun to
Hmm.
drive. I think it's going to be a good." I think that is insecurity is the word that's coming to mind, even though I know it's not the right word to use here.
Hmm.
Um, that sort of mentality, and then retracting your words and just saying like, "Oh, I just wanted to throw something out there and see what everybody was saying. I was just trolling everybody. Ha ha ha! You all fell for it. Like you're a bitch. You know what? Not like that, but like you're kind of a bitch. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not. I'm not. Um. Yeah, I don't think that he. I don't think that he's as good as his teammate, and I
Yeah,
don't think that he's gonna stand up next to his teammate. So that's just it.
fair enough. Um, One thing I don't want to discount going into this weekend and this season is overlooking Max Verstappen.
Mhm.
So, despite everything of, oh, it might be Ferrari, Mercedes, I keep having to remind myself, we counted out Max last year, and then he finished second place in the championship
I did
when
not.
he was very much out. You
I
know,
did
like
not count him out.
I I feel like it was kind of written off like the Red Bull's just not good
Yeah.
last year. You know, like don't expect much. Like Max will still be Max and pull off some miraculous stuff.
Yeah.
Even last year shocked me with how good of a drive he ended
No,
up having.
and I
So,
think
and I'm reminding myself that going into this year because I feel like the Red Bull has not been talked about a lot, which
no,
to me feels like a spot that's almost like a trap, basically.
in
Um,
what way?
in that it's Max Verstappen and it doesn't matter. That's all.
Yeah.
He will still be up there. He will still be in the mix, and you can't discount that at
Yeah.
any rate. It's just it is what it is. I would say you could put him in the Aston Martin, and at this point in time, I'd be going, yeah, but it's Max.
That that might be a tall order, but hey, we'll see.
But yeah, so I don't want to forget about personally. I don't want to forget about Max and the Red Bull, and I'm very curious to see how Isaac does in this year with the big team.
And that's another thing that I've kind of got my eyes on going through the season. Um, how is Isaac gonna stack up? Like, is
Yeah.
it gonna be another situation where there's a 15 car delta between the two cars? You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like, is it gonna be a situation where people are starting to ask questions about his career or whatever now that he's in that second seat? You
Yeah.
know, is that second Red Bull seat still going to be cursed?
Hmm.
Um, that's going to be another interesting thing to keep our eyes peeled for sure.
Part of me hopes it's not with the new team principal era that Laurent Marquis is
Yeah.
going to be
No,
running
I
here.
mean,
I hope that it does change in that sense. And to some extent you felt like it might have a little bit just with how
mhm,
quickly he like upgraded Yuki's seat when he
yeah,
first came in and everything like that. So yeah, I just don't want to see that second seat just be whatever the rest of the way. Well, for them it just can't be if they want to be a competitive team in the constructors as well, which is where they
that's
all
for
get their
sure.
money from and everything. So, you know, it's something that they need to make the step up for. I'm excited to see Isaac get this opportunity. I'm also excited to see Lindblad in the junior team seat as
Yeah.
well, and see how he
Yeah.
compares next to Lawson to get started here.
I forgot he was here.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm rooting for everybody to do their best for sure. I would love to see Arvid Lindblad just kill it. I
Hmm.
would love to see him just arrive and see, not because like nobody's gonna have the same like welcome to Formula One like Max had,
Yeah.
but if he like steps onto the scene and is able to prove himself as a legitimate guy who's gonna be a guy for the
Hmm.
next couple of years, it kind of makes the idea that Max could go elsewhere a little bit more palatable if you're Red Bull.
Yeah.
Um, and speaking of the Mekis era, you know, I mean, I feel like the sport is better when Red Bull is better. Just like I
Hmm.
feel like the sport is better when Ferrari is better, when McLaren is better, when Williams is better, and when Mercedes is better.
Hmm.
You know, so if we have competence, that's definitely a good thing. And I think that having competence out of both sides of the garage,
Hmm.
it definitely only gonna make the fight a little bit more interesting for sure.
100%. Um, how do you think Williams is going to do this year? Do you think we see them win the midfield battle or even potentially take a step forward? Or I mean, where are you kind of at with them? What are your thoughts?
So Williams is a Mercedes engine.
Yes.
I feel like, how do I put this diplomatically? I feel like what I'm watching for Williams is I want them to come ahead of McLaren. If I'm a Williams fan, I
Mm-hmm.
want them to be better than McLaren
Mm.
and to be that kind of 1B behind Mercedes. If the way that I view things in terms of manufacturer and customer team,
Mm-hmm.
if that's kind of that 1A, 1B type deal, I would want them to be ahead of McLaren in whatever pecking order we're assigning for the Mercedes customer program engines. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um Best of the rest would be awesome. Occasional podiums would be awesome. I would be very happy
Kind of
with.
continue that.
Yeah, continue the trend, but at the same time, like I don't know where my expectations should be, and I'm not going to be able to know that until I see everything happen in actuality in Australia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until we see these teams go through qualifying, go through a full race weekend, and see where they end up, you know, then the disappointment can set in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So right now everybody's just kind of excited and waiting and hopeful,
Mm-hmm.
and let's not take away anybody's joy. How's that?
um yeah, I guess that's fair. I take away some people's joy. I think we've taken away Aston Martin's joy going into the
Yeah, no, they're
season so
hopeless.
far, but
Yeah, we're
yeah,
we're
yeah,
they're
so
beyond saving. No, we're not. Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how Williams ends up doing. I think they have the second best team principal on the grid. Um I love their
Who's the
driver lineup.
first?
Toto.
Really?
Mhm.
By what metric are you ranking that?
In terms of why I think James is the second best team principal.
No, I mean, why do you think Toto's the best? That's more my question.
The Let's see. He runs Mercedes, which since he has been there has been just a dominant force in the
Yeah.
sport.
Longest
Uh,
tenured team principal, I
hmm
think, right?
I think so. I don't know
Yeah.
who is
Now that
longer
Christian's
than
gone,
him on the grid.
I think he's the longest tenured in his position,
Hmm
yes.
His tenacity, his leadership style, his ability to um, nurture talent,
You
and
just think you just think Val's is off of that coaching tree and you're good with it.
well, he is,
He
but
is.
also again another little sneak preview into my Drive to Survive review. Um, Seeing some of his behind the scenes from that really cemented that thought in my mind. I I think James Val is an incredible leader from what I have seen out of that aspect. Obviously, I'm not in the trenches with him or anything like that,
You're
but
not in the hotel with him
um,
waiting for Carlos.
what'd you say? I wasn't in
You're
the
not
hotel
in
with
the
him. I
hotel.
was not in the hotel. No, unfortunately not. I'd like to have been, but
Hey
um,
yo.
I- waiting for Carlos to sign, yeah, that would have been a sick
Oh,
moment to be a part of.
oh,
But
right.
um, but yeah, I think he's an incredible leader, and I think he has a very clear plan and direction, and runs a team very similarly to Toto, which is a fantastic thing.
Yeah,
If you're anybody on the grid, so
yeah. I'm
yeah, I
not
think he's the second best
disagreeing.
team principal, and because of that, I do have higher hopes for Williams. I'm curious to see what happens this weekend with testing with practice and then qualifying leading into the race to see, okay, are they really up to snuff despite some of the shortcomings they had over the off season and leading into the Spanish preseason testing and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I kind of hope that Williams is kind of mixing it up with like McLaren and Red Bull. I wouldn't say they're going to be at the same level as Mercedes and Ferrari going into the year, but hey, anything's possible. I suppose it is again new regulation season and crazier things have happened.
Yeah. No, I was just curious about your ranking in terms of that. Um, because I had never thought about organizing who is the best boss.
Mhm.
I
I
think
don't think I could give you my number three to be quite honest with you.
okay.
Um, maybe Andrea at McLaren just simply because they just won the world championship, but I don't know. I haven't thought about it after
With the
that.
fuck ups that they had last year strategy wise, we
Well,
definitely cannot say that.
that's yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. No, I think Vasseur is
Maybe
underrated.
Mekis. I agree. I think he is underrated as well.
Yeah.
He kind of gives off the similar vibes as like um to some extent Dan Campbell, where it's like you look at him and you like hear how he speaks and you think, oh, that guy's a meathead for Dan Campbell, or you look at Fred and you're like, that guy's just a goofball. But it's like, okay, peel back the first layer of
Nah,
the
dude.
onion
I
and
would
realize what you're getting into
I
here.
would run through a brick wall for Dan Campbell. I would run through a
Oh,
brick
I would
wall.
too.
No, no. I'm saying
But I'm
that as
saying to get
not
the
a
similar
football
treatment
fan.
because of that.
No, no,
Oh
no.
yeah.
I'm saying if I was in the room where Dan Campbell was giving a hype speech, I'm 100%, I'm 110% all the way the fuck in. Let's go. You know what I mean? Same thing with
Unlike Aaron
Vasseur.
Judge.
Same thing with Vasseur. If he like I feel like he has the capability to turn the Ferrari ship around. I feel like they
Mhm.
have turned it around. I feel like he was a very good leader at Sauber. No, no,
Yeah.
no. I'm Babe Ruth calling my shot. I think Ferrari is slept on, and I think Ferrari is going to be really good this year. And I think that that is in no small part due to how Fred Vasseur has changed the culture at that team.
Yeah.
So, and ultimately, that's what it needed was a culture change. And hopefully, they don't make McLaren level strategy decisions. I don't
Yeah.
fucking know. I that remains to be seen from me still. But I think that if we're coming up with a pantheon of team principles and trying to come up with like a top five, I think he's decidedly top three. And I don't know, that could become a completely ignorant statement because I know nothing, but I like my odds. If I'm picking a team to start, I'm going with him. He's been in the sport for a long time,
Yeah.
and let's run it. You know?
You're not wrong. I do like Fred as well. I just don't know enough from the his alpha days where I just didn't pay attention that much. I know he was there for a long time.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't think you're off on saying that. I think this year is going to be the real like prove it year in some sense of,
yeah,
well, yes, it's still new regulations and everything like that, but it's like this is the time to kind of like take advantage of that and let's see how they do. In that same breath, I would say Io Komatsu has really impressed me with what he's done with Haas so far. I think you saw a pretty big leap actually from when he took over from Gunther,
yeah.
which I fucking loved Gunther. But maybe Io has exposed some of his shortfalls as a team principal from maybe a technical side. I don't know. Um, because I don't know Gunther's technical backgrounds, to be honest, as to how he got to his position. But I think Iowa's done a pretty impressive job with Haas and bringing on the partnership with Toyota and Gazoo Racing and the jumps and the leaps they made last year as a team as well. Couple fourth place finish by Ali, multiple points finishes throughout the season rather than just a one-off here and there and things along that line. So I think I might throw Io into my top five as well. If I'm thinking about that now that we speak more about it. But I'm excited for Haas this year too, because they are a Ferrari team. I I would like to see them take a step up and fight for that fifth place battle a little more than they did last year. You've got Ali Behrman, who's an incredible young driver.
Yeah.
You have SD Bestie, who
Good
while
driver.
boring at times, and not my favorite driver to root for, um,
Yes.
he proved himself enough last year. I would say that he's a good veteran to have on the team. And he delivered some performances that did help the team, especially in the early races last season as Ali was still figuring it out. And he had a strong finish to the season too. So, but I
I
think you're
still
really
stand
excited
by
by
that guy.
I think you're still excited by Behrman for one more year because I still think he's going to end up being a Ferrari driver
Yeah.
relatively soon. And then I think you take advantage of that as much as you can. And yeah, hopefully you can fight for fifth with the Ferrari power unit. I think that should be a goal set out for that they have this year.
Yeah. No, and what I really hope comes out of this regulation set more than anything, I would love to see us have a top 4 or a top 5.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Or shit, maybe a top 6. You know, if
Yeah.
that group up at the top is smaller, it's more competitive racing. It's more questions about who's going to win in any given weekend, and ultimately it makes the sport more competitive and more fun. So I
Yeah.
hope that the top 3 becomes a top 4 or top 5.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
What do you what are your expectations for Audi going into the season? They're in a little bit of a different boat given that they, I mean, were a team. They're just
So
new branding.
yeah, I mean that's a good question. It's new branding. It's
Well, their own engine.
their own engine. And they are their only. They don't have any customer teams either, do they?
Correct. It's just
Yeah.
Audi. They're their own. Yep.
So similar to where Cadillac is, and not right. I would like to see Audi finish races consistently. I would like to see them, maybe not necessarily up at the top, but if they get some sneaky points, like that's something to be celebrated,
Hmm.
If they have that consistency and establish a good culture and establish like that they know how to be a race team, that's kind of all we can really ask for and all we can really hope for.
I think it's a
So
little light on expectations for them.
yeah, no, 100%. And I'm only being that way probably because of the power unit question.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I would love to say, oh, they should be fifth, they should be third, they should be second place. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, that's not realistic.
Correct. I think so
Realistic
too.
expectation is, hey, you guys should be getting sneaky points every once in a while, improving your station from where you were last year, but
Hmm.
also you got to finish the race. You got to make sure that you're making the most out of every opportunity so that when two guys take each other out up at the top of the field and everybody moves up 2 or 3 places, you're able to move up into the points and get a sneaky eighth place. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Um, Anything more than that, I think would be asking too much. Because, like, think about the Pistons, right? Not to bring everything back to my favorite basketball team, but let's go back just real quick. 2 years ago, right? An evil man who we will not mention by name was the head coach of my basketball team, and we were not 2-26 bad, right?
Correct.
But we had the worst fucking record in the league,
Hmm.
right? And then a year goes by, we make a 20 something game win improvement, and another year goes by, oh, we fucked around, we got the best record in the NBA. So I think there I say that to say not everybody can have a leap like that.
Hmm.
I say that to say that as a Pistons fan, I'm still kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. And everybody's like, oh, this team is going to make it. Could this team make it out of these? Like, I don't fucking care, right? Like, I'm happy. If we make it past the first round of the playoffs, like, that is kind of the bottom of where my expectations are, because
Hmm.
that's as far as we made it last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm still cognizant of the fact that we need a secondary ball handler. We need a little bit more shooting. We're not going to get that overnight,
Yeah.
and it's probably going to take another year for this team to be the most actualized version of what it could be on the basketball court, right?
Yeah.
Completely different sport, completely different set of circumstances, and completely different pretty much fucking everything for Audi, but it's also the same. I look at where they were last year. They were hot doo doo ass. They
Hmm.
were they were they were
Dude, dude.
bad. They
Yeah.
were bad, right?
Big time
But
bad.
were they that bad? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Are they capable of taking that 20 game leap? Are they capable of improving their record and getting more points and taking a step up before the next step up that they really want to take as a team.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the long version of saying my expectations are low,
Hmm.
but not that low. They
Okay.
should be they should achieve more than we think. But I don't think they're going to achieve much.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think yes, they have the new engine. They've been able to develop this for the last 4 years though. So I think with no having that, like it's the opposite of Cadillac where, hey, we're not even going to do an engine for the first until 2030 when the engine regs change because we had a much shorter timeline to try to get one out. We'll buy the Ferrari engine, learn to become a team since we're a brand new team and go forward
Which
from there.
honestly, like I think that's a very smart way to
Oh,
go.
100%.
And I commend Audi for taking the leap that they are, saying, fuck it, let's build an engine. You know what I mean?
Well, what I'm saying is I don't think they're taking that leap because they've known that they were going to be a team since 2022. So they've had the time to be able to develop for this regulation that while yes, it's still a new engine and it still hasn't logged like real race times and real
Hmm.
race competition and everything like that. I
Hmm.
think if you're an Audi fan or in the Audi team, I think you're probably setting expectations that we want to be a in we want to be a competitive midfielder. Not
Yeah.
necessarily competing for the best of the rest, but hey, we need to be in that mix of, those final points
Consistently.
place finishes consistently, not
Yeah.
the let's hope to be getting the points more often than last year. I think your expectation
So
should be, hey, let's be more often than not in a 10th place, ninth place position,
yeah.
basically.
And that's what they should be aiming for 100%.
Hmm.
I just think that the brain drain, I guess, that left Sauber is what
Hmm.
I'm worried about. You know what I mean? They didn't keep the Sauber project going when they were still Sauber. They
Hmm.
didn't keep that momentum and kind of took their foot off the gas until Audi came in. And we saw Sauber kind of really regress over the last couple of years and backslide into the
Well, where
shit
they were.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they were hot doo doo ass. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
But they also had some really good performances last year. I mean, you have
yeah,
Nico's podium. Gabby had taken a really big step
and
at the end of the year too.
a hundred
They were in
percent.
the mix,
And you were in a position to capitalize on that podium and get that podium. You
right?
know what I mean? That's really where they need to be, is making the most out of whatever crazy circumstances happen that you fuck around and you're in third place all of a sudden.
Yeah.
you know so that's what I think I was really trying to say. I just remember them being absolute dog shit last
Hmm.
year,
Yeah.
so I don't.
Well, they were at the beginning of the year, but they put it together and they ended up figuring it out, and they weren't they finished ninth still last year, but they had 70 points. Haas had 79, and then Aston had 89. So like they weren't that far out of the mix there in terms of the rest of them. But it just took them a little while to kind of get into that fold and become competitive. But yeah, um, we really only haven't talked about Alpine at this point in time, which. I can't think of something I'd like to talk about less when it
So
comes
now
to this
we've talked
sport.
about them. Let's
Um,
move on.
yeah, we can move on from there. Alpine will be driving. We'll see who ends up being in the seats at the end of the year. Um,
Fucking hey, maybe Flavio will be out there. We'll see
oh God, maybe you never know. Let me
if he
go through a
if he
couple of
can
other
fit in the
things for
car.
you.
Sorry, Flavio,
New.
that was mean. I shouldn't have made a fat joke. That was unkind. I apologize.
um,
I see you on the Ozempic grind.
with new cars, with new rules this year. So let's just go over
Is he
those and
skinny
remind
now? Wait,
ourselves.
can we do the Drive to Survive recap?
You
Is
want me to do
Flavio
that?
skinny now?
No, he's not.
He's
I don't
oh
like
well, my bad.
Flavio. I don't like Flavio at all. That's one of my takeaways. So okay, yeah, we'll do my recap here
Sorry.
for you.
So can I set that up a little bit better?
Sure.
Derek, as one of the people who watched Drive to Survive for me, what did I miss? How should I feel? Should I be angry about how this season went? Tell me.
Um, I don't think angry is the way to go with it. And to be fair, I have not finished it. I have 2.5 episodes left to go. For those of you who have watched, I am currently on the What Happens in Vegas episode, which is literally all about the Las Vegas race this year, which is kind of
Wait, what?
interesting.
Really?
Yeah, so it's I wanted to go in order, but I'll give you the preview on that since don't really have much in terms of notes for it at the moment. It's it's a standalone episode, and they're following the four team principals from Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, and I think it's Red Bull. Yeah, and Mekis. It is an odd episode so far where it is just about Vegas, and it is just like what are these four kind of doing. The storyline like makes some sense because at this point it's the battle for second and in terms of the constructors, and then also the world championship race, or the world championship has very much heated up at this point in time. So, and to be fair, there's a lot that happened in Vegas, but it is the most unique episode that Drive to Survive has ever done so far, where they've done like just one standalone. We're doing this race weekend by itself. So I
Interesting.
will I will watch that, and then I'll watch the last two episodes by our next recording here, and then I'll give you my full recap. But so far, Drive to Survive season 8, I think has been the most disappointing one that they have done. Um, I haven't cared much for the stories and the way they've set up their storylines through this so far. I have notes episode by episode, and I will run through those here for you. So, the first episode is called Rookies, which is a good place to start. It's all about the rookies. There were six of them last year, so it's like, yeah, that's a good spot. Um, it starts out as they always do, just kind of like a here's the start of the season. Here's a little bit of everybody. And they had the big F175 thing at O2 in London and blah, blah, blah. I did make the note. It was very funny. The Alpine guys were on the River Thames going to the O2 in London. And Pierre at one point looks at this. He's like, "What's that tall, pointy glass building?" And the guy goes, "It's the Shard, the name of that building." And he goes, so like when you poop your pants, like when you fart, and they're like, no, that's a shart, Pierre. And he's like, oh, so hands down, I think maybe my funniest moment from the season is Pierre Gasly learning shart is not shart. Like they did not name a building after shitting your pants when you let out a
That's so
questionable fart.
funny.
So
That's so funny.
that was very hilarious. That's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's all these guys like they're from all parts of the world, and I mean, he's from France and he knows English very well, but obviously there's still going to be some gaps. So, yes,
Wow.
Pierre Gasly learning how to pronounce and what chart is very funny. Was very funny to me. Um, one other thing to note from the beginning of that episode, I just kind of forgot this. Horner was very loudly booed the entire time when he did his entrance for Red Bull. He walked up on stage first to do the announcements, and literally the entire time he is talking, he's getting booed, and it very much just goes to Toto first, and he goes, "In London, really? Like he's from here? Holy shit!" And it kind of just shows everybody being like, "Whoa," type of a thing. So that was
Everybody said,
interesting.
fuck that guy.
Yes.
Shit.
Another funny moment, just because it's the beginning of a season and everybody's new in excitement or whatever. Lewis and Carlos were walking into the paddock area in Australia, and Lewis is telling Carlos how change is good and it's exciting for a new thing, which is funny because he took his seat at Ferrari, and Carlos has none of this from Lewis and looks right at him and goes, "This is my fifth team," and says it in like a "fuck you. You get to choose what you want. I haven't had a choice. I'm sick of this shit," basically. And you just see Lewis reacting like, "Oh,
Oh,
damn, really? You've been on five already?" Like, I didn't know that. It's like, yeah, Lewis, we're not all you, man. So that was just another funny moment. Um, to the actual episode, though, more on like the storyline they were going for with the rookies. Um, This one, it's a TV show. They're building you drama and storylines, and I understand all of that part of it, and that's part of what makes it a fun show as well, and as to get people interested into the sport if you're not familiar with the sport. Um, but the drama for how important it is for the rookies to succeed right away was way over the top in this race. Hi potatoes. Yes, I
As a
know.
rookie.
This is a rookie right here for sure. Um, but yeah, it was way over the top that this is the first race for all of these guys. And basically, if they don't win, they are not going to drive anymore, is basically how it felt. It's like,
Well, yeah, if
dude,
you're
it's
fucking
Australia, and it was Australia last year when it was wet and rainy as fuck. Fernando crashed for crying
yeah.
out loud. Max spun, Oscar spun, Lando went off like no nobody had a clean race in this thing whatsoever. So like to the extent that they went through on how, you know, wrecking or crashing or spinning, like
Or not starting.
write this guy off. He's
Yeah.
horrible. It's like, okay, well, chill out. Yeah, it's their first race, but also I think everybody, with the exception of Flavio, knew like
Yeah.
it's their first race, and it was like some horrendous track conditions on a tough track as well. Like,
Yeah.
so that was pretty annoying. But the other thing that they he muted my microphone with his head.
That's
The other
funny.
thing that they really liked doing this season, um, anytime, anytime Red Bull makes a mistake, Christian Horner says something, there's like a blunder on the Red Bull team, the and I mean this in every sense, the very next cut, scene, whatever, is just Toto going, just smirking like, ha ha ha, I love to see you fail, type of a thing. They
Damn.
did that as much as possible. Like it was funny, and then it's like, okay, like come on, guys, like we can move past this a little bit. But okay, dude, you want to just come on my lap at this point in time? Come here.
The
Why don't you have
dog
a seat?
has taken over the program, ladies and gentlemen.
This, yes, Otto is back for a return episode here. So anyways, so yeah, that was the rookies episode. It was very over the top and very dramatic, and it's like, yeah, it's exciting and it's new, but it's also like, come on, what are we doing here? Um, the second episode, Strictly Business. So this is the Flavio episode, the Flavio and Sauber episode. They kind of compare Wheatley and Flavio and their two contrasting styles, basically, with how they run their teams. Yeah, Flavio's just a dick. I get, you know, he's the old school mentality. He's, you know, basically
No.
put up or shut up. It's Formula One, blah 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 type of a thing.
It's team
There's
fuck that guy.
there's you know, being a straight shooter and then just being an asshole, and he's just an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
not, you don't have to be so Flavio, I guess is the best way to put it. It's kind of ridiculous. Um, so yeah, what was the other thing? Oh, this was the most disappointing part about that, because it's also the Sauber episode. They show you Nico's podium. It is such an afterthought, though, and it's like, guys,
Yeah.
they they made it a point in a previous season talking about how Nico was even at that point in time the driver with the most starts to have not finished on the podium, and they made a massive deal about it before, twice in previous seasons. Once when he was with Renault still, and then when he even filled in for Racing Point,
Mm.
it was a big deal. He finally gets it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he got a podium." It's like, are you serious? That's insane. They literally just
Yeah.
threw it in at the end of the episode. So I'm like, okay,
He.
this is so far the first two episodes are kind of some duds, basically. Dude, can you sit down? Why are we
The
standing on my
dog is
lap right
tweaking.
now?
See, the thing is, Cat is also tweaking. Cat is like sitting right next to me.
Yeah,
So no, we're good. Do you want to
brother.
take a second to put him down, or what do you not put him
Oh
down,
no,
but like, okay,
I'm just
you're
going still.
vibing.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fine with it. I'm just like, dude, why are we standing? Like, you could sit. It's
Oh
fine.
no, I got you. Um,
Um,
do we want to go into the rest of Drive to Survive, or do you want to wait until it's done and do the Pontiac Grand Preview?
No, I will finish here real quick for
Okay.
you. I thought we'd been grand previewing already, honestly.
Oh no, we are. I just meant in terms of like predictions and stuff because
Oh,
I
I see.
know that's like
We'll do that too. No, let me finish up here. Um, the next episode, the number one problem is I kind of mentioned it a little bit. So this kind of covers McLaren's first half of the year. Um, the only note I took away from it was that Zach Brown finally clarified what the papaya rules were. This is the most interesting part about this episode.
I'm on the
We
edge of my
finally
seat.
learned what they are. This is verbatim. This is his quote in the show. What the papaya rules are. It's pretty much don't run into each other or don't run each other off the track. It's pretty much don't run each other off the track. It's pretty much just that. So,
Pretty much
we've
just that, yeah.
really got a clarification there what the papaya rules are. It's pretty much just
But they're
don't run
very
each other off
clear,
the track.
and we knew what papaya rules were.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. We already knew this, but it's just pretty much. That's it. It's pretty much just don't run
pretty
each other off the
much.
track.
Pretty
How
much.
how much clearer could the papaya rules get? It's pretty much
Yeah.
just that, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Um, and that was also the episode where you kind of see more of like Lando's confidence issues, kind of while he's racing, and with Oscar taking his step forward, and things like that. It didn't really bring on any new information for the most part, other than what the fire rules are. So that's all I took for that. The next episode, A Bull with No Horns. This is all about Red Bull, and the Christian Horner firing. So they this part kind of annoyed me too. After Yuki's first race, they cut to Will Buxton basically saying that Yuki can't score. This isn't good. It's like, dude, that was one race.
Uh,
And again, I get the drama effect of it all.
yeah.
He was right. Yuki couldn't score. And like I get what they were doing. You can't show Yuki's whole storyline. That's just there wasn't a lot there, and I understand that. But when you actually like watch what they put on the screen, it was literally his first race. And it was like, okay, yeah, but like come on, like it wasn't at that very moment. But it was just more like, dude, you didn't even like go to like 3 or 4 races later. You could have picked like a point in time later down into the year. You could have showed like Yuki took over, and then you could cut to like 5 races later, and it just hasn't improved. It just hasn't improved over this amount of time. It was literally
Yeah.
he's in the seat. Nope, can't do it. We're fucked. It's like, okay, well, yes, that was true, but give it more of the reason why it was true. So, um, and then so then it goes on, it shows Red Bull's woes, and it ends with after Silverstone, Horner being let go. This was kind of a nice moment. They showed him coming home to his Spice Girl, and that
Thank you for that, because I was gonna say it if you didn't.
yes, and then he ended up sharing a brief text conversation he had with Toto after it was fired, and I thought that was actually it was a very nice moment between the two competitors. Because I can't remember exactly what he said because I didn't write it down, but Toto essentially said something along the lines of, "I'm I'm conflicted on on my feelings toward this because on one hand." You're an asshole, and I love that you're gone because you're not an asshole on the track anymore for me. But like on the other, it was good for the sport, and
Yeah.
our competition was
No.
real, and I did enjoy that at the same
Yeah.
time, type of a thing. So, but it was like it was a nice moment between the two. It was like let's
And
like
that's
it's one of those things like, hey, at the end of the day, shake hands. There's a
but
mutual
it's still
respect
team
for each
fuck
other
that
there.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was
No,
a
I
cool
love
moment.
that. I
And
love
Christian
that.
even acknowledged that. He's like, I wouldn't want it any other way. Like
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah. And in a
So
lot of ways, he is good for the sport. You
he's
know what I
great for
mean?
the
In a
sport.
lot of the ways,
Yeah.
Christian Horner, Chief Shitster,
Hmm.
kind of rules,
Change
so
a
you gotta love
fucking
it.
car. He's gonna be back.
Oh yeah.
He just
It's
has to
just
be.
it's just a matter of with whom,
Yeah.
you know?
He just has to. You know who's not gonna be back? Danica Patrick.
Oh my God.
Did you see
I
that?
was gonna bring that up a little bit later. Yeah, I'm sure that the lizard people are really happy about that one.
Yeah. Oh man, what's Jensen gonna give us side eyes at now and break the fourth wall with?
Oh, he'll find a way.
He'll find a way.
He's a sassy bitch. He'll find a way.
Yes. Two episodes left for you to review here. The next one, this was the most interesting one to me. It's The Sky's the Limit. It's Williams' episode. And this one I think gave you the most like information and light and into like a behind the scenes of like how things actually went for one of the teams. Um, because you really get a good peek behind the curtain at James Vowles and how they are running Williams, but you really get a look into Carlos's like time last season with his adjustment to the car, but also the input he gives the team into trying to better them as well. Because as we were watching last year, we kept mentioning, Albon keeps running away with points to start off the season, and you could see Carlos's struggles on track, right? He's not getting comfortable with the car. You don't know what the reasoning is. It's like, well, he'll get there and XYZ, and eventually he ends up scoring some points and becomes pretty good getting two podiums to finish out the year, right? And it's like, oh, cool, he's figured out the car. Not really kind of like how it went based on the story they tell in this episode. So um, they discuss a lot about how he was still driving the car like the Ferrari, which from James's point was giving them way more information on what they were lacking in terms of their
Hmm.
car and their
Interesting.
setup. So not a Carlos get used to us. Carlos is
Let's get used
teaching
to
us
you.
a lot about how the best teams are competing and driving and should be kind of like approaching things. So there was a lot more
Interesting.
back and forth between like Carlos and James, and you see a really like very business conversation between the two of them at the summer break about, hey, look, we have to get this stuff figured out. Like the reason why I came here from Carlos was we were going to be competitive and wanting to achieve championship level, team performances, not just be content with the points essentially. And James goes on to how like yes, we're working on that. We want to do that. Like that is still very much our objective and our goal. And they kind of go back and forth like this is what we need to be doing from the mechanical standpoint, how the team is functioning and running, how quickly things are happening and stuff that way. So that's why when earlier I said I think he's the second best leader, you just got a really good insight into why that was the case for him and like what he's doing and the effect that those two are very much having on the team themselves. So that's
That makes
why
sense.
this episode was very good. If you're gonna watch any episode of Drive to Survive, I think this
That's the
might be
one.
the best one that they've put out. It's very interesting and it very much is a good look behind the curtain. I did still have some qualms with the episode overall. Um, so they set up and start the episode talking about how bad Williams is in 2025, which I was like, I'm sorry. This was the team that finished fifth and had that locked up basically all season long.
Yeah.
They eventually go into like more of the Carlos storyline, but they start off by going, this team sucks. And I'm like, that team does not suck.
Not really. Yeah.
They had some moments where they didn't have points in every race for sure, a couple DNFs, double DNFs or whatever in the middle of the season there. But it was like every team's going to falter a little bit, and it's not they're the worst team out there. So I had a little bit of a problem with that of like, okay, yes, they cleaned it up by explaining more of what they were trying to get to, but that was still just kind of annoying because it's like we've seen them be bad, really bad. That team was not shit last year. They were a really good team last year. They made a big
Yeah.
step. Yes, they can do more, and that's what they're trying to get to. That was a big leap though, and I didn't feel like they gave that enough justice at the very beginning of the episode. Um, they also discussed how Carlos Sainz had a lot of options for 2025, and it was a huge catch for Williams to get him. And it's like, yes, it was a huge catch for Williams to get him, but because his options were the midfield or the shit teams. Like,
Yeah.
you were the best of the rest for him to pick from. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why you had him. If there was any other opening aside from maybe Red Bull,
he would have taken it.
he would have went there instead. Like that wouldn't
Yeah.
have even been a question. You know, it's like, yes, amazing you got him. Look at the circumstances as to why though. Like, yeah, if there was literally one of the other big teams available, you weren't even going to be a question. He was going to that team. So that was a little bit of like okay, like, come on,
Let's be real
we
here.
we literally watched this last year. You made a whole storyline about, man, it sucks for Carlos. He got dropped by Ferrari because of Lewis, and now, but none of these other seats are open. He has to choose between these teams. And then this year, he had so many choices. Like, okay, well, come on, guys, what are we doing here? Even if you're watching the TV show and just that, you go, now wait a second, that's not
Yeah.
what we said last year. You know, like what the fuck are we doing? Um, what was the other thing I wanted to mention? Um, oh, this was absolutely fantastic. The amount of attention the Lego cars got in this episode was so far
Which,
above and beyond Nico's podium. It was amazing. It was like,
but
yes,
we
that
also have to
deserved to be
remember,
highlighted.
yeah, that was one of the highlights of the season for
It
sure,
was. It very much they spent so much time on the Lego cars for this episode.
as they
They
should have.
they showed basically every driver going, that was the best thing ever. They were all like, this was the best part of my season, essentially.
Yeah.
Like this was so much fun. It was awesome. So um another reason why if you're gonna watch episode, this is the one to watch because you get more Lego car content, which is great.
I love that.
So I'll wrap up Sky's the Limit there. And then the last episode I'll review is called The Duel. This is the Ferrari versus Mercedes episode. Um, I didn't take away a whole lot from this one either because it didn't tell you a ton. The most interesting part of this is it kind of goes a little bit more into Kimi Antonelli's struggles in the middle of the year after he had gotten that maiden podium in Canada. That was kind of interesting to see how how he transitioned into being a professional race car driver after while still being in high school and finishing high school. Like um to some extent it's like he got off to such a hot start because yeah, he's a kid and he's naive. He doesn't know any better to some degree, right? But then it got into now you're doing the full-time driver thing. You're doing all of these other things. This is the job now. It's not you're just driving. There's all of these other things that he had to adjust to and get used to and figure out. And clearly you see that the downturn is in his performances as he kind of goes through that and loses some of that confidence of, oh, it's not just there anymore. So it's a very humanizing moment for sure for him. And then you get to see him with his redemption and come back and just absolutely start killing it again to finish out the year. So that was kind of cool. And to be fair, I mean, he was in he was replacing Lewis Hamilton,
Yeah, a little bit of a tall order.
it's a tall order. And so again, the naivety of being a child to start off, and then you see him start to like, whoa, the spot that I'm actually in, being
Yeah.
grounded a little bit. So that was kind of interesting. And that's as far as I've gotten. So yeah, like I said, I'll finish up the rest with our next episode here.
Nice.
But yeah, overall there's like I had like yeah, one or two actual bullet points for each episode, which isn't a ton for a 45-minute episode. Like you'd hope to kind of get a little bit more out of it. And for the most part, I was like, okay, like it's fine. Like yeah, it was just a little disappointing this year. So, um, new season, new cars, new rules. Do you want to recap what's going to be new for this year real quick?
Uh, Qualifying is
Briefly.
different because there are more cars.
Yes.
It's 6 eliminated each go, right? Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So 6-6, and then you
Um,
still have the top 10 shootout.
and then I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I'm aware of. Enlighten me. What else did I miss? Also, how the fuck am I supposed to watch this? Because I don't have F1 TV anymore. Like,
Apple.
okay. But like, I'm doing this against my will. Just so Tim
Well,
Cook
think
knows.
think about it this way. F1 TV is just replaced by Apple. I don't think the price is different. I think an
I
Apple
mean,
subscription's like $10 a month.
I was not looking forward to paying it with F1 TV, but I was going to because it's my favorite sport.
Mm.
I guess I'm getting extra shit that I don't need for the same price, but I'm not happy about it, you know?
They're I will give Apple TV their props on this. For the most part, all of their original content are bangers.
Okay.
They have some fantastic shows, and I've only seen maybe one or two of their movies. I thought they were good, but their TV shows that they do have on there are awesome. I mean, Ted Lasso's on there. Your Friends and Neighbors I'm watching right now with
Wait,
John
hold
Hamm
up.
is
Did you
good.
see that the dude from Ted Lasso got like maybe signed to a professional soccer team?
What?
Yeah,
Who?
the football is life guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude is having a tryout with like the Chicago Fire in the MLS or something like that. Like
That's
he's with
awesome.
one of their like junior teams or something like that.
That's such an MLS thing
Yeah,
to
I
do
mean
too.
that kind of rules. You do kind of got to give it to him. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Football is
Um,
life. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So I watched that, but like I stopped giving a shit. Like I didn't like they came out with more seasons, I guess,
About
but
Ted
like
Lasso.
yeah, I'm not invested in this, man. Like
It was 3 seasons. It was a 3 act story, which I thought was good. But then they just announced recently that they're bringing it back. I don't know how they're going to do that, but I thought it was like hey, you ended it probably the way it should have been ended, and that was good. So I don't know what they're going to do now, but no, the morning show is elite. Great show. That's on Apple. We're also watching what's it called? The Last Thing He Told Me. Second season of that's coming out at the moment with Jennifer Gardner. That's a little bit of like a mystery thriller
I've never
type of a
heard of
show.
any of these programs.
Oh, that's what I'm
Just Ted
saying. Like
Lasso, that's it.
a lot of them you haven't. They've got like just some like why are all of these people in all of these shows? This is kind of crazy because yeah, you just haven't really heard of it for the most part. Harrison Ford is on a TV show with Jason Segel.
I
Like
mean,
what?
if
What?
you get Harrison Ford to do anything, that's pretty impressive.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like
Yeah.
there's some good stuff on there. So enjoy F1 on Apple TV and check out some of the other programs. It's actually kind of good. But um other things. Yes, the qualifying is the one. Other things that aren't new because we've been following along with it, but just more of a reminder. Um the active arrow on the straight mode is what it's called. So that's kind of replacing the DRS zones on the track, where they can open up the front wing as well as the rear wing. There's the mom. There's also
Manual
boost.
overtake mode.
Yep, manual.
Yep.
Yep, the manual. So that replaces DRS when they want to activate that stuff. There's boost that allows you to essentially like deploy your battery for I would guess maybe defense is going to be one that's going to be used the most. Um, so there's like yeah, there's the straight mode, which again the front wing will open on straights and all cars can do that, and that'll be in like where DRS signs were, SM signs will be, so drivers can hit that button. There's manual override or manual overtake mode for that button, and then there's the boost. So there's like 3 buttons that allow them to go
Mm.
faster, essentially on track now, which is kind of weird. I didn't realize it was that many. And then what was the
I
other
don't know how I
thing?
feel about that.
The new fuel is being used this year,
Yep.
and other than that, it's basically yeah, new power unit, and then just the new regulations overall. Those are kind of all the
Yeah,
changes.
and new
So
fuel is
nothing
not something
crazy,
that we're
just
gonna
a
tangibly
recap.
see.
And
Yeah.
we're not even going to see it at all. They don't even fuel during races or anything like that. It's just this is the year that they are starting to use that now, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like I
Definitely.
said, I think as with sport and motorsport very specifically, the technology advances you see in motorsport ends up in real life. And if we can use the fuel that, just recaptures the carbon in the air, that's pretty awesome and good. So let's hopefully see that is successful and then that fuels our cars and that's good.
Yeah. Let's have 100% sustainable fuels with no carbon emissions
Yeah.
and bring back V10s.
And bring back V10s.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Just give it to me
Yep.
again. That would be awesome.
right into my veins.
Yes. Okay.
That didn't show on the thing. I wasn't high up enough, but it's fine.
That is all of that. Any other stories or storylines that we might not have mentioned? I can't think of other ones prior to
No,
the
dude,
race here.
I'm just excited to get into some predictions.
Let's do it. All right, let me get my notes back up here. I haven't done this in so long. Okay,
Yeah.
so um, I told you we will re-overhaul our fantasy um
Yes.
game. I've thought about it a little bit, and I want to propose to you a new option on how to do it.
I
And if we
want you
don't
to
like
know
it
that
after week
I'm
one, we can tweak it.
I want you to know that I'm gonna agree with whatever you suggest.
Okay, so this is my new thought. So
Okay.
the reasoning for how we did fantasy the last year was it allowed us to talk about all the teams in the preview and like pick each driver. I think we kind of talk about them anyways already, and it's kind of like a double recap. And we ended up kind of just doing the same thing and picking the same drivers. So I'm going to propose a tweak to the format. It'll still loosely be based on like picking a team and driver pairing. So I think each week we will pick one driver head-to-head matchup, and they can't be repeated, except with the exception of two, because what, there's 25 races or 26 races this year?
Think
How many rounds are there?
I thought it was still 24, but it could be 25.
24. Okay. So there's 22 unique driver head-to-head matchups.
Okay.
You have to use each one once in the season, which means you would then only be
Mm.
allowed to use you can only repeat twice,
Okay.
essentially. So it gives us a little bit of a strategery in trying to determine which driver matchup we like at which point in time of the season. That could mean we
Okay.
both pick the same one each weekend. There's gonna be a lot
Interesting.
more difference in between it. But it's only one. Like we're really watching this one this week. And then the second addition to our point tally is we will now pick one team that we think for point haul over for that race. And same thing, we can only pick them once until we've picked all of the teams, and then you can reset. So there's
Interesting.
11 teams. So through the first 11 rounds, you have to pick each team once. And
Okay.
then for the next 11 rounds, you have to repeat again. And then there will be what, 22? So the same thing. There'll be two races left. Pick, one more
Whatever
time and
the
then another
remainder
one
is.
more time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I like it.
So that way it's not us still just consistently going Mercedes, Mercedes,
X.
Mercedes,
Yep.
Ferrari, Ferrari, Mercedes, Ferrari, maybe Red Bull. Like it allows you have to think a little bit more about okay, what team could be good here? When could this midfield team maybe be good here? That type of a thing. I think that might be a little bit more interesting. It'll make us
Yeah,
think a
I
little
like
harder
it.
on it too.
Let's do it.
All right. So with that, driver matchup. We'll still score the driver differential the same in terms of point differential to just place differential.
Okay.
Um, and then for points though, for picking the team, we'll use actual points scored.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So for example, if we were dumb enough to pick Aston Martin this weekend and then they both end up DNFing, we get no points for that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even if they finish 11th and 12th, there's no points. They didn't score points during the race itself.
Okay. I like it.
So I think that's how we should do that. And again, there's no like, oh, I picked this team this weekend. You can't pick them. We could potentially both repeat and pick the same thing.
Okay.
All right. So with that, do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I well, it doesn't really matter because we can overlap. So why don't you go ahead? Take
All
it
right.
away.
So I think for the opening weekend here, for my driver head to head, let me just relook at the teams again real quick.
Okay.
I almost said it and then I was like, wait, I need to just double check here. Um, okay, who is everybody? Where is everybody? I am gonna burn my Max Verstappen pick over Isaac Hadjar.
I stepped away at the exact wrong time for that.
That's okay.
Um,
I am burning my Max Verstappen over Isaac Hadjar pick this week.
that's a
And
bold choice.
my reasoning is I think if Max is going to have the biggest gap on Hadjar, I think the first race is the best option for that because it's his first time in the big car. And if Hadjar is good and gets better, that point differential will minimize, is my thinking
Interesting.
there.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I'm gonna try to ride the Max Verstappen one more time from last year because I don't think you'll get that same type of gap
Okay.
personally like we saw last year. So I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
capitalize on that as early as I can.
There we go. Good choice.
So that's my head
Good
to head.
strategy behind it. I like it.
Hmm.
For my head to head, I'm going Ollie Behrman. And
Behrman,
the
I like that.
reason that I'm going there is because I'm starting with a midfielder.
Hmm.
I am confident that Haas will do a little bit better.
Hmm.
Um, and it's still team screw that guy with Oliver Behrman with Esteban Ocon. Sorry,
Yeah.
not don't really think that highly of him,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he's a wonderful human being. Sometimes maybe,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's Behrman, and that's who I'm going with. That's who I'm picking. So that's what we'll rock with.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then for my team, um, I'm using my same line of thinking here on take advantage of a good thing early. I am gonna take Mercedes right away. Appear to be one of the teams that has an advantage over everybody else. So
Yeah,
let me try to cash in on a big points haul at the beginning of the year here.
that's very fair. That's a very smart choice. Um, did you have anything else to say about that, or do you want me to give my prediction?
That's kind of all my thoughts I had on that one. I was
Okay.
between two teams for that thinking, and you could probably
Was
guess what my other second thought was on that.
was the second team the team that I'm gonna pick in Ferrari?
Yes, that was the other
Yeah,
team I was thinking about.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
So it's Team Ferrari. Yeah, I'm Tifosi through and through.
Hmm.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Yes.
Let's fucking go. Okay,
I'm here
I
for
think I
that.
got that out of my system. Yeah,
I like it. I'm
that's
here for that.
that is my reasoning behind the pick. Let's fucking
Just
go.
let's fucking go.
Let's
Cool. I
fucking
like
go.
it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right, I like it. Yeah, so there you go. So you have picked Oliver Behrman. That is your first use of Oliver Behrman. My guess is going to be that's going to be your only use of Oliver Behrman this season.
Hey, we'll
I've
see.
picked
I don't know.
Max. You have Ferrari in the Tifosi. You get that is your first Ferrari choice. You will get them one more time, but in round 11. So you
Yeah.
have to wait a little bit. And same for me with Mercedes. I'll have to wait a little bit there. So with this, there'll be I mean, we'll see how week to week goes, but I think this basically just turns into a season long because we'll have to tally the points overall to see how we
Yeah.
do at the end of the year. So it's kind of
Definitely.
like
I like this.
it's more like a championship instead of like a week to
The
week.
Backmarkers Championship.
Yeah, we'll have four championships we'll follow. We'll have the drivers, we'll have the constructors, we'll have the national championship, and then the backmarkers championship.
Oh, I forgot about the national championship.
I will be
My head
keeping you
hurts.
posted on that
Yeah, please.
as we go on
And
throughout the
then
year.
do we want to do a top three, or do we want to do like race predictions, or what are we abandoning that?
Um, what do you mean by top three? Like, who do we think is going to be the on the podium, or what are you thinking?
I mean, I'll be honest, I forgot how we did it last year.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, I mean, I think we should pick a winner for the race here.
So this was my thought. So last year, we had three consistent picks with an occasional bonus pick if it was a sprint race weekend.
Mm,
Our picks that we made were on classified finishers, winning margin, and then the race winner.
yes.
I
Let's
like
keep
those
that
three.
going.
I like those three. I don't think we need to change that too much. And if we
Yeah.
want to add in something later on, I think we could do that.
Okay.
Um,
I like it.
but I think we need to go in reverse order. We kind of gave away like the goods with our first pick with the race winner. That should be our last pick that we give out, I think,
Okay.
going forward here. So I would like to start off with winning margin, then go to finishers, and then do the race winner.
What's the weather like? That's the
It
real
is supposed to
question.
be beautiful this weekend in
Okay.
Australia. It's supposed to be sunny and clear skies for the race.
I
Mild
love that.
mild temperatures for an Australian summer, so it's not supposed to be like too blistering hot. It's supposed to be a pretty perfect weekend from what I read earlier.
Okay, we'll take it.
Yes. So with that winning margin, what are you thinking here? We'll stick with the same gaps of under 5, between 5 and 10, or over 10 seconds.
Um, I would love to say it's gonna be under 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous to say it's gonna be under 5.
Okay.
Fuck it, we ball under 5.
You like under 5. All right.
Not that much, but I like it. Yeah, not that much, but I like it.
Fair enough. Um, this again, we're doing these before we see any sort of session as to know what the competition of the car is going to be like. So that always makes this fun. But I think I'm going to go with between 5 and 10 seconds on this one. I think I think competitive, but a little bit of a gap still. In terms of the race and the winner versus second place there. So that's where my head's at it with it at the moment. We'll see.
Okay,
Never know.
very fair.
Classified finishers. This is not a street circuit, so we'll set the line at 18 and a half here for you. Over under.
I'm gonna go under.
You like under?
Yeah, I think wait, hold up. 18 and a half is what we're setting it at, but we have 22 cars on the grid, Derek.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, good point. Okay, let me
oh.
actually, yep, let
No,
me see if there's a line out there.
I think 18 and a half is still the right line because I think we can kind of agree that Aston Martin is not going to finish.
I think
And that's because they've told us that they're not going to finish.
it's probably 19 and a half or 20 and a half though.
I hate 20 and a half as a number. That should not
You're
be
like,
in a
there's only
number.
20 cars. Shit.
Yeah. Um,
Hold on,
I would
let me do some research here.
okay, yeah. Look at a sports book that should send us an email to backmarkersf1pod@gmail.com
True.
because who wouldn't want us to be sponsors with all of the non-controversial things that we say about things going on in the Middle East
True. Um,
and other non-controversial
ooh,
statements that we make.
ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
It it might be 18 and a half. Okay, so the book that I'm looking at, the line for over 18 and a half classified finishers is minus 120, and then over 19 and a half is plus 185. So I'm going to say the over underline is 18 and a half then.
Okay.
So I think we'll stick with it at 18 and a half. Okay, so yeah, over or under 18 and a half. So that would be um 22, 21, 20, 19. So to be under 5 cars would have to not finish.
Ooh, I kind of hate that. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I want chaos.
Hmm.
So I'm sticking with the under 18 and a half
Okay.
just for shits and giggles.
Fair enough. I think you have to count that Aston Martin will not finish. There's 2 right
Yeah,
off the rip
I
for you.
think that's kind of what they've telegraphed to us, so
Hmm.
we need to listen to them.
Yeah. Ah, man, but I then you put into thought, Audi and all these other new engines and Ford out there and Cadillac out there. Screw it. No, my initial gut was over, so I'm gonna go with over.
There we
I'm
go.
sticking with over. I think you get the 2 from Aston for sure not finishing. Throw one more in there, but I don't see any more than that, especially on a nice clear day. Lindblad's your only rookie out there now, so it's not like you got the rookie chaos to worry about as
I
much.
don't know, cause like I feel like he is a more like hyped rookie, like Antonelli was,
Yeah,
and I still think the younger guys, though they are not technically rookies, I think they still have a little bit to learn and there's more there's more to pay attention to there, I guess
yeah,
is my feeling. Does that make sense?
yeah. That makes sense to me
Okay.
for sure.
And then I'm also looking at the
The
gambling
lines.
apps. Yep.
So with
Um
that, we've got our
boy.
2 picks. Who's your race winner? Who do you like to win this race, Ben? Are you doing it early? Can I feel it coming?
I mean, You know what I want to say.
Yeah, I do.
You know, you know what my heart is singing.
I know what it's screaming
Not
at you right
saying,
now.
singing.
Yeah.
Um, so I would love for you to make the first pick because I've got a couple
I'll
of
give it
thoughts
to you.
about how this
I
could
I've
go. Hit me.
I've had mine in mind here. Um and I will happily tell it to you right now. I'm going George Russell. I'm
Yeah,
going
I knew
George
you were
Russell
gonna
to
do
win this
that.
race. I I I picked Mercedes as my
I
team in
should have.
our Backmarkers championship
Yeah.
because I believe he is going to win this race, or Mercedes at the very least is going to win this race.
And I
So
knew you were gonna say George, and I'm really pissed off that I didn't just say, I know you're gonna pick George, so let me
mhm.
think about and just talk this out. But
He
please
he is
continue.
he is the betting favorite right now, and I think that's fair. It's not. I think that book that I was looking at said it was plus 225 for him, to win the race. Let me double check that for you. Yes, he's plus 225 to win, um, and I think that's a really good odds for him on that because it's still not like a he's the odds-on favorite. Well, it's not like he's a minus number or anything like that. There's still some question to it with some intrigue, but you can still make some good coin on betting George here. So yeah, I'm going with George. Mercedes is supposed to be the best team, best engine. Um, he's a very competent driver, as we've learned, especially after last year. So yeah, give me George Russell. Let's see Mr. Saturday do it.
Yeah. No, that is
Mr. Consistent. Sorry, I forgot he's got a new nickname.
that is not that's probably pretty sensible. That is a very, very good choice, and I agree with you, and I don't think that you're incorrect.
Mhm.
That being said, my heart is saying Lewis.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
My head is saying Charles.
I wrote that
And
down.
then a small,
Oh no, he
small
hasn't made his
part,
pick.
a small, small part of me is saying it could still be Max because
It's
Max is
Max. It's
just
Max. I
that
know.
good.
Yes.
So
So what do you think though?
I think that the last time a Ferrari driver got married right before the season, it worked out pretty well for Michael Schumacher.
Ooh,
And
I didn't know that.
I think Charles Leclerc is
Wins
going to
this
win in
race?
Australia, and I think that I would do anything to see a Ferrari 1-2. I would love to see Lewis win, and I think he's still like one of the best to ever do it. Um, I think Charles is my pick for Australia.
I like it.
So I I don't like it at all. I want I because it could realistically in my head be any of those three guys. It's probably gonna be George that wins,
Mm.
but this race is gonna tell us a lot, and I'm really, really excited for this season. I
Me
can't
too.
wait.
After this race in Australia, I will give you my promise to listener, my future. I've told you about that. I'll give you my future for who I think is going to win the championship. We'll see how Australia goes.
Oh, we don't
Um,
want to do it now. We don't have any balls.
no, I have no idea how the cars are actually going to look out there. So yeah, I want to wait until Australia. Give me one race weekend, and then I'll give you my championship future. That's going to be my plan.
Okay.
It might not
All
be the
right.
best odds, but that was my thought. I teased that I liked Ferrari after the which test, whatever test that was where Lewis just started off the line. I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna win it all." Right? So, but give me one race weekend. Let me see what actually happens out on the track and I'll give you that. But yeah, at the moment as it stands for this race, give me George. I think that's the sensible pick here in my mind.
There we go.
So, but some other racing that happened this past weekend. We'll recap those for you. I know you mentioned that you did not watch the IndyCar St. Pete Grand Prix or NASCAR's race at COTA. I caught a little bit of both of them. I didn't sit down and watch the full races of either of them. For IndyCar, you were correct. Alex Palou did win again. He continues his winning ways after last year. Um, the one of the two funny moments from that for me, one not so funny, just cool, was John Gruden was the grand marshal for the race, so he yelled the driver start your engines, and John Gruden doing anything is awesome. Put him in any other sport, like doing the let's get you rod fired up is the most perfect spot for him. He can do it for literally anything. John Gruden
100%.
is awesome. He is such an electric personality to watch do
No,
most things. They
I,
also
s-
had Jameis Winston on the track walk.
I did
Dude,
not see that.
Jameis is the fucking best, man.
He's
Jameis
so
is
funny.
the best. He was literally out there. I forget the guy who it was for Fox that was doing the Martin Brundle essentially
We're
for
just
Indy.
blessed to be out here. I'm so happy it's raining. I'm so happy to be here.
Right.
I'm so happy to be here.
So this dude from Fox finds Jameis Winston. He's like, Jameis, come do the grid walk with me. He goes, hell yeah, I'm gonna do the grid walk with you. That's awesome. And they go up to the Swedish rookie. I forget what his name is, but he qualified like fifth or something like
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
He had a really good starting or outing for his first race. And basically Jameis just takes the mic and just starts like motivating this guy and telling him like what he like, hey, look, you're here from all of the training and everything you've done puts you in this position. Yeah, you a rookie. Who cares? That doesn't matter. Look at where you are. Everything you've done got you this point in time where you are in your life. You're ready for this. You can take this moment. You got this type of a thing. It was just like,
I
dude,
love
Jameis is the
that.
best. Like, you got Gruden doing the pump up speech for, or just doing the driver start your engine, which is electric in itself. You got Jameis doing the grid walk, just being Jameis. Jameis being Jameis anywhere is awesome. I
Yeah.
literally plug that guy into any situation, and I will tune in and watch because that's how awesome of a guy this dude is. Like,
He just
oh,
makes it more fun.
he does, he does. So, but yeah, Alex Fuller wins the race, dude. Mick
Mick.
Schumacher had like the worst first
Yeah.
outing you could ever have, and
No,
it
and
wasn't
it
even his
sucks.
fault.
It wasn't his
It
fault.
wasn't even a little
Ah,
bit his fault. It was, you know
yeah.
whose fault it was? It was Stingray Rob's fault. Which, what a name! We've mentioned his
We
name on the
love it.
program before, but yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, just cutting across the corner. Like, yeah, you know what works?
Yeah.
Going full speed and not turning. Like, what the? He
Yeah.
just got caught. Like,
It was bad.
oh, poor kid.
Yeah.
They
No.
they were mentioning on the broadcast, like, this might be one thing that he might have to get used to is like, yeah, in F1 when you crash, it's done. It doesn't matter. Like, you could have a blown tire and they're like, retire the car. It's broken, type of a thing. They were trying to say like, I wouldn't get out of the car if I was him because they could have potentially pulled that off, worked on it, and then let him go run laps. Like, yeah, you're not
Yeah.
winning or competing, but
But you're
dude,
getting
you haven't
information about the
raced
car and you're getting
before,
reps.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, get some practice reps, and IndyCar's calendar is much shorter. They have 17 races this year, so
Hmm.
but yeah. Anyways, they're both
No,
back in action this weekend in Phoenix. It's a doubleheader.
which is exciting. Wait, when you say they're both back in action in Phoenix, IndyCar and NASCAR are in Phoenix?
Yeah,
Oh, that's hype. Oh,
it's like
that's
back to back
awesome.
too. Like, it's the IndyCar race and then it's the NASCAR race
That is
on
sick.
Sunday. Yeah.
That rules.
So this
So,
Sunday is going to be great. We got, well, Australia in the middle of the night, but then IndyCar at noon with NASCAR
yeah,
at 3:30 on the same track.
no, that rules. No,
Hmm.
so I fully intended because we did make a promise to ourselves and to the listener that we were going to be better motorsport fans in general. Um, your boy was sick all weekend. I felt like dog shit. So I woke up Sunday in time to know that there was a race going on for IndyCar.
Hmm.
I looked for it and couldn't find it on my favorite streaming website on the high seas. And I was like, okay, whatever. Couldn't find it, went back to bed. Woke up just in time for the last like 2 laps of the NASCAR race.
Hmm.
So I turn it on and Michael Jordan is celebrating a three-peat. And I was
Yep.
like, what the fuck? You know? So that was
Nailed it.
awesome that you called that. And that was
I
like my
bet it
first thought
too.
was, oh my God, I hope Derek bet. Like, I
Yep.
hope, like that was the only thing that I could really think of.
I threw
And
3 bets on the NASCAR race because it was a road course. I was like, I got to put Shane Van Gisbergen on there
yeah,
because it's Shane Van Gisbergen. Like he basically swept all of them last year,
yeah,
and then I bet Tyler Reddick and Chase Elliott to win. And just because Chase Elliott is also really good at road courses, he had a horrible race this weekend at Coda, but um, historically he's been like one of the top 3 NASCAR drivers for road courses as well. So I
hmm,
was like, I'm betting on those 3. One of those 3 is definitely winning this weekend. And the only reason why I bet Tyler Reddick was because I'm like, well, Michael
well,
Jordan
fuck
only
it,
3-peat,
repeat.
so I
Yeah,
gotta go for it. And then
yeah,
sure enough, it hit. And I technically won. I netted money after betting on all of those guys, so I was pretty
that's
pumped
awesome.
about that. Yeah. So yeah, Michael Jordan 3. Don't bet on Tyler Reddick this weekend though. Michael Jordan repeats. He's gonna take like 3 races off, and then he's gonna win 3 more races in a
No,
row.
2 races off and then 3 more in a row.
2. That's thank you. I forgot my
Yep.
timeline there. So yeah, Tyler Reddick will not win the
Fuck.
next 2 races, but he will win the 3 after that.
There we go. Why
History
fuck around and
repeats
play
itself.
baseball?
Exactly. You never know. It's possible. So
That rules.
yeah,
No, now Phoenix, is that an oval course for both?
I believe so. So the Phoenix Raceway does not have a road course setup, to
Hmm.
my knowledge. And I believe that's where IndyCar is racing. I don't believe it's like a street circuit or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they're just at the same track.
Nice.
I'll find out for you real quick. Where is IndyCar racing this weekend? Phoenix Raceway. Yep.
There we go.
Yep, the Desert Double roars into Phoenix. It's yeah, IndyCar
The
followed by NASCAR.
Desert Double. That
That's
rules.
sick.
That's such a good name.
That is such a good name.
I love that.
Don't miss Full Throttle Weekend at Phoenix Raceway as the NTT IndyCar Series and NASCAR Cup Series take the track Saturday and Sunday. Oh, okay. So IndyCar is Saturday. Fact check.
Mm.
Race Sunday. Damn, that should have been on the same day. That would have been way cooler.
Yeah,
I
but
get
it
it. I get
also
it.
kind of
But
makes sense, especially from a promotion standpoint. You can't like sell tickets to just one thing.
yeah.
You got to sell more tickets, Derek. Come on.
Yep. Yes, March 7th, 3 p.m. on Fox, local Fox for you listeners, watchers out there. So yeah, that's
Or
on
somewhere in the
Saturday.
high seas. I don't know.
And then dude, just get an antenna.
I mean, it's the
And then
principle, I
yes,
think.
uh Phoenix 3:30 for NASCAR on Fox. Actually, that says FS1. That's weird. Why FS1? Oh, is it college tournament season? It
March
might be
Madness is
it
around
might
the
be
corner.
that. It might be there might be some conference tournament this weekend then or something
So
like that.
can I no, this is an off-air story. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it later.
While we're still on air, anything else though? Anything else you got?
I think we're good. An hour and 45 minutes of being on this program. I think that might be a record.
It's a good episode for us.
Solid, 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 solid app.
Hell yeah. Well,
Hell
it's race
yeah.
weekend
I'm
officially
so
again.
excited.
That was a Pontiac Grand Preview for you here on the Backmarkers F1 podcast. And that's all I got. That's all you got. That's all you got.
That's all you get.
That's all
So
you
thanks for
get.
listening.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you after the race.